We're live.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ready to Emerge Detour Essentials Live. We are at season 7, episode number 2. Now, if you were with us last week, you know we had a fantastic show. We kicked off our season with none other than Dr. Terry Carell Reed, who shared some insights about her brand new book and just about how she has been emerging through this time and what's next for her in her adventures, right? So we had a really great turnout. We got a lot of great feedback. We shared some of her key tips on our Instagram page. So if you are not following us on Instagram, now would be a great time to follow us at Ready to Emerge on Instagram. And of course, if you are joining us for the first time, welcome to Emerge Detour Essentials Live. We're here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock once we're in season because we do take little breaks. But for now, we'll be live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And you can find us live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Are we going to get into intros now?
Yes.
I didn't
If
miss
you
anything,
think
right,
so.
guys?
You had a moment.
Before, I know we want, right, we can't assume that everybody knows who we are. But before we even get into that, we have an exciting guest. So we will continue with this emerging journey with our guest tonight. And if you're here, you should already know who's backstage waiting to come online. But before we get into that, we want to know where you're joining us from. So let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. And if this is your first time tuning in for Emerge Detour Essentials Live. The three of us will know. 2 out of 3 of us are here streaming from Kingston, Jamaica. Catherine, where are you streaming from?
Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Well, first of all, hi everybody. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, I am Kathy Goodall and I am joining from Denver, Colorado.
Woo!
That's like where them did have Dynasty. I know Denver them did have Dynasty.
Isn't it Dallas?
Wasn't Dynasty like Dallas?
No, Dallas, they are Dallas in a
Oh.
Texas. And Dynasty was in Colorado.
Was
Denver.
it? I have to,
Really?
I have to verify that.
I'm going to Google that.
Mm-hmm. No, trust
Yeah.
me.
I used to watch Dynasty, but I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
Not that long. What time is it where you are?
It is now. I'm an hour behind you.
Wow. And that's natural light coming in, right?
This is natural light coming in, sun shining bright.
Okay. I see Auntie Normadel is joining us from Atlanta.
Hi, Keisha.
Yeah.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lorian. And
Lorian joining from Toronto, Spanish Town. Awesome. Hi, Janice. Rochelle is always here. I love that. You introduced yourself, Catherine. Is that what you did a while ago?
Not okay. So I am Kathy Goodall. I am a leadership and growth coach and a marketing strategist, and I am a part of the Emerge Trio.
Oh, awesome. I'm Naomi Garrick. I'm also known as a PR chick. I am a personal branding coach and trainer. And I am also the founder and CEO of Garrick Communications, a boutique PR agency. And what I do is I help people and companies to build more purposeful and profitable brands. I'm also a very proud member, a founding member of the Emerge 3, because we don't say trio here, it's the 3O for Emerge.
Well,
right?
Naomi is cutting up on your side, Catherine, or just on my side?
Yes.
My internet is a little hot.
I thought you guys were the ones cutting up on my side.
No, that's when you're confident. You're like, it's you. It's you, girl. It's you.
It's me. Are you sure?
Positive. It's you. And she's like, no, it couldn't be me.
Rush, what's that on your shirt?
Oh, I'm wearing my prescient Ganzi.
Yes.
What is that? What is prescient?
You see me in my prescient pearls? Because if I wear a Ganzi, I have to wear pearls with my Ganzi. So my name is Rochelle Cameron. I am really just a big bowl of awesome sauce. one of my godchildren sent me a note. She's like, Auntie, you're just a big bowl of awesome sauce.
Oh,
So that's
I
my
love that.
introduction. I am CEO and founder of Prescient Consulting Services Limited, an organization in which I lead a group of professionals in delivering impactful legal, because I am in fact a lawyer, and human resources, and we are doing a lot of strategic work with organizations, helping to build wealth for organizations and their people. We are about nation building. Thank you.
Oh, that's
So, guys, welcome again to our second episode. And we just wanted to remind those of you that are joining us for the first time, or to advise those of you that are joining us for the first time, and remind those of you that were here last week that we are coming back live. We are having our first summit in 2 years on September 18th, and we're super excited. It's going to be at the AC Hotel. We are starting at, well, super early. We're actually opening doors at 8 o'clock because we have so much in store. Sagicor, our partners, have some really exciting things in store for you. So stay tuned to all of our pages at Ready to Emerge for more information.
Well, we can tell you the date is September 18th, so make sure you save that date in your calendar from now. Did you say that?
I did. I said September 18th at the AC Hotel.
Oh, just making sure.
But the reminder and the reinforcement is always great.
That's September 18th. My mommy's birthday is September 22nd.
Oh.
Smaddy. A good smaddy.
Awesome.
Smaddy. So, ladies, how are we doing though? How are we doing? So I'm in my Persian Ganzi because I just come in from work. So, so I have to skate in and skate into the chair. But you know what? As I was heading back home, I thought, it is amazing to get to do things that you love to do. Like, it's just amazing. Things that don't feel like work. And even though my teeth root are currently tired. When your teeth root tired, you're tired till your teeth root tired. That's how I'm tired. But we get to be here with the emergers, and what's as special as that. And last week we had Terry Carell, and we thought to ourselves, who are we going to have for our second week of Emerge? And there's something about our guest tonight. Last week we were trying to do the bounce. Remember the bounce? And I thought about her with the bounce. You know how you talk about bounce back? This lady doesn't bounce back, she bounces forward. And with everything, she has exemplified exactly what her book is about: killing fear, walking boldly, walking courageously, and always, always showing up as her very best self. She has been in the public eye for years. I remember the first time I met her and she was Miss Festival Queen. And I thought to myself, she's so stunning and her voice is just so amazing, which makes her the perfect public speaking coach and self-management strategist. I'm going to know who we're talking about because it's handing out the air for the one and only Krystal Tomlinson. Now, you would remember that she's named because, as my grandmother would say, she is no kwashi. She don't approach nothing fenke. She is in fact named among Success Magazine's international Success Magazine's 125 global thought leaders for 2022 as she brings forward emerging ideas around awakening the courage to be daring, dynamic, and deliberate. And if you follow her on Instagram, she is daring, dynamic, and deliberate. And her philosophy is simple: remain under construction and not be too proud to review, repurpose, and reposition. I'm going to add to this because we are always emerging. Yeah. And you know that she has an incredible story because she never born big. People think people born big. She never born big.
People just arrive.
that we arrive. And as Nai always talks about, there is a journey. There is, in fact, a journey. And she has an incredible story from emerging as a troubled teen in high school, transferred to four whole high schools, and missing expulsions to becoming a three-time world university debater and the only female in the Caribbean to cop the title of public speaking champion at the World Universities Debate Championship. What me tell you? Bounce forward, bounce high, bounce big. She is author of the published book Kill Fear, in which she shares her experiences with confronting and killing the three big social fears of this generation. What are they? Criticism, failure, and loneliness. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, emerge as all. We get to bounce big and bounce forward with Krystal Tomlinson.
You muted, Krystal. You muted.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm clapping for Krystal too because I feel like somebody that I need to meet and talk to. Like I had a full out of body experience listening to that introduction. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Hi, Kathy. Great to see you. I hope you are still warm.
Yeah.
Hi,
Staying
Naomi.
inside.
Hi,
It's a blessing
Krystal.
to see each of you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you on the show. You have been on our list. So nothing before it's time. So we are really, really excited to have you here with us tonight. And you know, when I heard Rochelle talking about how she remembers you from Festival Queen, of course, my first interaction with you was Miss Jamaica World 2015, because our agency did the PR. It was the year that Rolene Strauss, who was the reigning Miss World, actually came to Jamaica and she crowned the winner. But what I remember specifically, apart from Krystal's amazing voice, was that Krystal had won 3 of the sectional prizes, right? 3 of the sectional prizes, but didn't make it to the top 5. So you see, when Rochelle talk about bounce forward, that is Krystal, because here we are today, published author, speaking coach and trainer, and just doing amazing things. So we are very excited to hear more about this bouncing forward that you're going to see. Now you have a new speaker topic that you can use. The bounce.
Yeah, I love that. Like we're not just bouncing back, bouncing forward. We're bouncing big. We're bouncing high.
I love it. I love it. That's why we have Rochelle here. You know, you can speak to me about her fees after off air.
Absolutely.
Services
Genius.
and our commission as well.
Have to secure the bag, ladies.
We have to secure the bag. That's what it's about. But in addition to that, we want to. Rochelle did mention it in her intro, but congratulations again on making it to Success Magazine's list of 125 most influential leaders to know in 2022. I don't know if our audience understands what a big deal that is, right? For someone from our little island in the sun, right? Little Caribbean country to make a list like that. I know you had known about it before it was officially released. How did it feel? Because we're gonna bounce back a little bit to go back into the journey. But how did it feel to actually make that announcement and share it with your audience?
I was in shock for a full month, and that's when I realized that I had imposter syndrome. I never knew I had it, right? I never knew I had it. But it's like you're in your fishbowl, and you get so comfortable in your fishbowl. It's a nice, good fishbowl, and you're just enjoying it, and you're doing courageous things in your fishbowl. But then when you are no longer in it, and you're in an entirely different space on a list with people who are amazing to you, who are inspiring you, that's when you realize that you had counted yourself out. Like you thought that was some pedestal for special people, and you would not be able to earn that because you are too young and you're from Jamaica and you're not in that North American European market where everybody's going to know you and you sit on Oprah's show on MSNBC and CNN. So I did not realize until that point that I had already thought I did not belong in that space and I was not yet ready for and had not earned that recognition. A whole month I was just kind of sitting with it and going, okay, is this gonna change? Are they gonna send me an email and say, oh my goodness, we're so sorry. You know, there's another Krystal that was on the list. So it was a mix of the imposter syndrome, like, oh my God, did I deserve this? Did they really pick me on purpose? It was that mistake. Am I gonna get that email? And then the fear of what next. Yes. So it wasn't even a fear of what people will say about it, but will I make the best use of this opportunity? And what will I be called to do from here? What are the emails and the invitations that are likely to come from this? And will I be able to show up with the courage in those spaces? So it took me a month to answer those questions for myself and return to a space of deep knowing that absolutely, if I feel like I can't do it right now, it's Krystal, my name. From a bond, I can learn something, right? The worst that can happen to me is that I learn how to do what I thought I didn't know how to do. And then, of course, in saying yes to the fact that I can, I realized that I was doing it. It's already there. But that took me a whole month of just
pushing back those limiting beliefs, right? Which we are all so guilty of having. And imposter syndrome is such a real thing. It's a real thing, and it allows us, it holds us back in such a way that we don't walk through those doors of opportunity. Yes. Or when we get them, as you said, you feel like you're not deserving. Is this really for me? You sure is the right Krystal?
Absolutely. And I didn't know I had it. If anybody had said to me, I think you may have imposter syndrome, I'd be like, me who says yes to every opportunity, you are crazy. But clearly, the big scary opportunity never come yet, right? Or the thing that I thought was big and scary simply had not come. But it was revealing for me, and I got to peel back another layer of myself and understand what those limiting beliefs were and to confront them. And the amazing thing about that process is the beliefs don't stand on anything strong, right? There's nothing firm that those beliefs exist on, except we've thought about it for a long time. And because it's been a long time thought, we think it must be true, right? And because it's in my head, I won't tell myself no lie on myself, so it must be true. And the minute you start to confront it, you realize, oh, this is myth, this is wind, this is dust, this is false. So I was able to knock that out.
Tony Robbins always says that you have to train your brain, right? It's train your brain or die, because you die with all these thoughts in your head because they can take over everything. You have to be in control and be like, brain, I'm Krystal Tomlinson. Hello?
Who are you talking to? It's who you're talking to. Yeah, you're talking to.
Where are the other awards and accolades? I'm ready.
Exactly.
Anyway, speaking of that, so I'm sure even when you announced it, I know that your audience must have been so thrilled for you and your family and everybody. And coming out of this pandemic as well. And so as we are bouncing back a little bit just to hear more of the journey, what was that pandemic experience like for you over the last 2 years? You're a mom, you're a trainer, you have speaking engagements, you have all these things. What was that 2-year period like for you?
Ooh, well, I mean, it's the first time I've had to talk about it like in the past, because it felt like I was in it for so long.
Yeah.
But those last 2 years, 2020 to 2022, were transformational years for me. It certainly didn't feel like it, and I understood very, very clearly what it feels like for a butterfly. When it comes out of that space, I felt like confinement and loneliness and immobility, like there's nothing happening, or it certainly doesn't feel like anything is happening. I don't know what is coming in the future, but Lord, when I was a caterpillar, at least I could have crawl slow. What is this thing going on here? Like, I can't even move now. Can I go back to caterpillar space? And then when it becomes the butterfly, it goes, aha, I see. And so it is sometimes difficult for us to appreciate the journey while we are journeying. And that's why reflection is so important, and journaling is so important. To spend time recognizing where you're coming from, honor that, grab those lessons, and just very deliberately take that with you into whatever that new butterfly season is supposed to be. So those 2 years for me, I experienced very painful losses, and public. Even if it wasn't very painful, it was certainly public. Yeah. From my political foray running in the West Rural St. Andrew constituency for member of parliament and not winning the election. I mean, a lot goes into preparing for an election and running a campaign, time sacrifices, just everything goes into it. And then to put that investment in and not get the outcome that you're anticipating was a loss, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, it wasn't something that, debilitated or crippled me in any way, but it was a loss. There were things that went in that you can't go back and take out. And a sacrifice that for that particular outcome of winning, you weren't able to reap that reward. Lots of other good things happened, but, we were banking on a win and we didn't get the win. So just kind of dealing with that. And then in the space, it's a general loss of the team that I was on, PNP, and just having to deal with that rebuilding and other things that were a part of the political process. And then second, and I think the most impactful of that period was going through a breakup with my child's father. I'm grateful that we were able to do that amicably. I remember Tammy Chin reaching out to me and saying, she very rarely sees decoupling that is healthy, that is kind, and that is non-toxic. And that's a good example for people to have. There's no guarantee that you will be with somebody forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You might say it, you might wish it, you might work for it, but there's no guarantee. And to be able to separate lovingly and to separate respectfully, I'm very, very grateful for that. Whatever allowed us to both be at a point emotionally to do that, psychologically to do that, in a way that didn't compromise the ability to raise a child together, to co-parent. I'm grateful for that as well. But that was also a big transition. So becoming a single parent in the sense that I'm head of my own home now, managing myself, my business, and raising my daughter in a pandemic. So a lot of roles were shifted on me in those last 2 years. But I mean, as I said, when you're in that cocoon and the thing is happening and you're just like, what is going on? Like, I didn't sign up for this, but we're in it and we have to do the best we can while we're in it and just trust that on the other side, if we don't grow, at least there's something more we will know because we've gone through it. So, I'm grateful for the growing and the knowing that has happened in the last 2 years. And then the wins that have been able to emerge even while, what felt like immobility and strain and struggle was going on, just choosing every day to do the best that I could do on that day, to speak with love and compassion to myself, to speak with love and compassion to others, and just be willing to accept what is and do the best with it. And that is how, we're able to expand the business. I'll tell you, the Success Farm was not earning until the pandemic. I mean, we earned, but like nothing to write home about. Definitely couldn't have about it. We're able to bring on staff and employ graphic artists and, buy equipment and invest in the business. And I'm like, okay, it took this for me to see the potential and the opportunity that existed in the business. I mean, developing our public speaking course was, Stasia is on now, Raw Food Challenge JA. For years, Stasia has been saying to me, Krystal, public speaking is your thing. You know it. People want you to teach it. Can you just sit down and create a course? Like, I'm not a teacher, Stasia. Like, what do you mean? I can't teach. I never go Michael. One must develop curriculum from. And then in the 2 years, in the stillness, in accepting that this is what it is, I was able to do that work. So grateful for all of it, and happy that I came through, because I know a lot of people did not.
Yes, you bounce forward, as Rochelle said. You're going to hear us say that a lot tonight. What were some of your key coping mechanisms during that time that you could share with our audience?
Oh.
You had spoke about journaling and the importance of that. We all are big journalers here. And looking back at the journaling is important too.
Definitely my morning routine, which includes the journaling, the gratitude journaling, and just deciding that there is good and looking for that good and acknowledging it and talking about it until it becomes a magnet for more good to happen. So the morning routine forces me in. So from the prayer and the meditation, the exercise, which is also good for the brain, and helps the thoughts to kind of go around this one side, so we can enjoy the endorphins and the dopamine and all of that. So the exercising really helps. I mean, trimmed down, got my abs back, could have put on my sports bra.
We saw your bones video, girl. Okay, we saw the birthday bones.
So we're like focus on self, like shift my dietary preferences. I started a vegan journey. I wanted to be 100% vegan. I think I'm now at 60, right? The shrimp. the shrimp chases me. I try to avoid the shrimp and the shrimp just finds me. But, changing the diet, the water intake, the exercise, the sleep, and then again, being able to start over in terms of curating the community of support that I wanted, so that in the moments when I did not have all the good thoughts for myself, I was in a WhatsApp group, for example, with girlfriends who would share that kind of encouragement that I needed, who would become shields for me and not share what they knew would not be helpful for me. Having a best friend who would call me and, she would share just ideas. Krystal, I have this idea and I think you could use it. Bam, go do something with it. And so just constantly being fed the hope, the opportunity, the encouragement. And I can't go without recognizing too the safe space of my family. I have like a real family, not like blood. We love you because the DNA is similar. Like a family who surrounds and protects and just engulfs you with love. And I was able to literally go back to my mommy and spend a few months with her and, just be in that space of absolute vulnerability and allow her to guide and model and teach and even support me in that process of parenting on the days when I really just did not have the strength. I didn't have the focus, like I couldn't. She told me once that my daughter was crying for something once, and I was there, and it's almost like I never recognized her. I was saying, it was not important, and I was like, me, I said that, and she said yes, and I said that's how I knew you were not present because that's not you. So being able to even exist in a space where that could happen, and it's not you're a bad mommy, and you should be a better mommy. It was, well, let me just run in and deal with Zia, so that when she comes back to ground zero, she can jump back into this mothering thing. And I can't tell you how empowering that was for me, how much of the healing depended on having people I could trust to kind of take on some of the roles that the brain just couldn't wrap itself around in that period. So family and community is a big
community. Absolutely. I love what you said about the shield though. Shielding you from stuff that really is not going to help you right now. That's a gem right there. Because sometimes we're so oblivious and we don't mean it, we know our friends are going through things, but we're just sharing things that are not going to make us feel good.
Absolutely. So sometimes I think
awareness to be a shield.
Random people would ask me, did you see that? Did you hear that? And I was like, no, I did not. This is news to me. I was like, it was all of a sudden. It was all of a sudden. I was like, trust me when I tell you, I never saw it. And there's nobody who had like access to me who thought it was important to share that. And I'm so glad that they didn't share that.
Yeah. So thanks a lot.
Thanks. Thanks for making me know.
Thanks so much for letting me know what I didn't want to know. So you mentioned Miss Zia. Mercy, what a beautiful picnic. I heard her earlier. She is so, and those eyes.
Thank you.
And the animation. So Krystal and I were at a Mother's Day brunch the other day, and I could not stop staring at this child. Listen, Krystal, I wasn't trying to like kidnap her or anything. I was like a creepy stranger danger. But she was just entertaining herself, pretending like she was eating, like she was just doing all the things.
She is like, I'm convinced she's going to do something related to entertainment. I don't know if she's going to be writing scripts or acting them out. But she has a very active imagination. She's expressive. I mean, she doesn't feel bound by anything in terms of the ability to express what she's thinking.
Yes.
At this age, you have a little fear that, am I not being stern enough? Because what if 3 years from now she embarrassed me already? I think that parent's spirit, she goes to somewhere. But so far, she has shown a level of intelligence and understanding of what is appropriate to do and where, and manage her impulse in a way that really shocks me. So I'm learning her though. Like with each phase, I have learned something else about her as she changes and as she grows. But I'm loving it. It's exciting.
What has that journey been like for you? Forget the pandemic, just being a mom. And as you said, seeing all these different changes, seeing our little personality coming out and stuff. What has that been like for you? And what has been some of your best experiences of motherhood?
The experience in general has been an awakening for me. Everybody thinks they know what kind of parent they're going to be. and you cast it in extremes. I'm going to be an excellent parent because I'm going to make sure my child has everything they need. I'm going to be a horrible parent because I never have this and I don't know this. But there's a beautiful middle ground that we all get to. Accepting that becoming a parent is not about becoming the you of the better than your mother and the better than your... No. A good parent is one who understands their child. So like you have to really forget about all the things you came in with a little paperwork and said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No.
Checklist.
Best way that you can show up as a parent is to learn your child, allow them to show you who they are, and then respond in a way that encourages the best of their personality, corrects them and guides them in a way that will keep them safe. So that's been the best part of it. Recognizing that I didn't have to come with the book and the manual, and just trust that as I pay attention to her, I will learn what she needs. And then it's up to me now to choose, am I going to respond to her need, or am I going to respond to the one that I have, and the thing that I think is right? But the best experiences now in terms of, aha moments for me, making a decision, like as I shared, the separation from her father, and then moving into a space now where I have, pretty much full control over what she has access to and what she's going to get a yes for and what she's going to get a no for, and just trusting myself to make good decisions. That has been the best part of it for me. Becoming trusting of myself to make good decisions for her. Because as much as you have people who will share perspective and give you advice and give you guidance, at the end of the day, that decision, when you're the parent, is yours. And if you don't trust yourself to make good decisions, you will either make none at all, which is clearly bad for your child, or make a bad one. And the only bad decision is the one that you make full of regret with no trust in it. It don't mean the decision was perfect, but it's when you make a decision and you trust yourself that you did the right thing and you believe that this was the right thing, it changes the way you feel after you do it. Even if the child has, a tantrum after, even if other people have something to say, it's a good one because you have faith in and trust in your knowing of your child. So that has been the best thing for me, just realizing how much I trust myself daily to make a good decision for her, understanding what she needs, and then acting from that understanding on her behalf. And the second best thing is becoming, because I'm still becoming that, becoming an advocate, knowing that as precocious might be the word, and vibrant and expressive as she is, she doesn't always know what she wants or how to articulate that. And learning that I must be her first advocate right now has been a great experience, because I'm speaking on her behalf to adults, and helping them to understand that there's a boundary for her. What she's expressing is a boundary. She's not saying she don't like you or she wants to be rude. She's saying she don't want to touch her hair, right? It's a boundary about her hair. It's not a boundary about whether she like you or whether she wants to. So I'm also enjoying that, surprisingly, like being able to see, to figure out, to understand, and then to find the words on her behalf, to share that with whoever is in her surroundings. So I feel like that is parenting, right? Just showing up for her and understanding who she is, and just taking the best decisions I can take on her behalf until she can take them for herself.
I love that. Like I said, we're in a constant becoming, whether as parents or just as human beings. We're always trying to become the person that we're meant to be.
Yes,
absolutely.
I mean, no way. Or you look at yourself?
Yes, for sure.
So.
It's you now.
Krystal, I am just in awe of you, and as I'm listening to you, and you opened up and shared that, I'm sure people were like, I wonder if Krystal are gonna open up tonight and share some things and and you did. And I know on the other hand, before we even talk about killing fear, you have faced a lot of public things, but you still have to go to the supermarket, you still have to go Fontana, still have to go on this,
I realize you're a Fontana addict.
You still have to show up. And yes, you're pretty, your teeth stay good, and you talk nice. But in those times where you have to get out of the car and you're wondering, do you wonder what are people saying? How do you break? Do you break?
I don't think I've had a break related to the public's understanding of me and the public's interpretation of me. I think the only breaks I have experienced is when I have to just let go a little bit of the ego. So that the thing that I thought was important to my identity and my sense of self, like when it's not there anymore, I just have to realize, all right, that part of the ego just dead. I have to go find my value and my worth without that, right? And some of those things have been being liked and being fully accepted by everybody who meets you, and just being loved all the time, and nobody's going to dislike me because I'm such a good person, and Christ died for me because I am a good person. And just recognizing that when they don't like you, it's not because you're ungood, right? It's just that they have a choice what their preference is going to be and how they express when you are not their preference. Some people are kind when you are not their preference and they just don't talk to you. Other people are unkind when you're not their preference, and they do all kind of things to make life uncomfortable for you. The break is not that they don't like me. The break is I have to release the need for other people to like me. Oh. And that's one of the breaks I went through when I was in the last part of high school heading into university. So by the time I became a public figure, I already understood that, and I've said it in a video before, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that is okay. Me not drink every tea. Like a can of carrot to come give me a for drink. And I say, yum, delicious. May I have some more? I don't want it, right? And I have to accept that there are some people who will not want what I have to offer, will not feel, comfortable around me, will not make me their preference. And I do that too. It's part of curating my own community, choosing who I want to be friends with. I am doing the same thing. So I have to give people room to unchoose and to unlike and to unfollow and to unwant, and just be okay with that as an individual. I don't lose anything when somebody makes a decision for themselves. So that has been, I think, the armor and the guard, or at least the clarity in the lens, to know that I can come to the car and go in the supermarket. And if somebody in the supermarket is having an interpretation of me, well, I hope I don't bump into them. I hope they don't stop in the middle of the aisle to have the interpretation because I need to get where I'm going. But that's their experience. It's something that they have to get through. And I've spoken before about understanding the tax of existing in the public space, and an impact tax, if you can call it that. You don't get to have an impact on people and not experience the flip side of it, right? You can't be, and I use my phone as the example, like there are people who take up their phones, have chosen not to choose me, like they don't follow me, and they'll just go in their Explore feed and bam, there I am, right? They're looking at their friends' stories and their friend just reposted something and bam, there I am in their face again. Like me, Krystal, I have to pay a price for that, right? Because that person doesn't even want to see me, and here I am all over the place for them to see me. They're going to respond, right? They went on their favorite gossip page and bam, there I am. Their favorite, photo page and I'm over there, and they're reading their Glean and I'm over there. There's a tax to be paid for that, for taking up space publicly. Yes, you'll be able to have an impact, and yes, there is interest that you will get from it, but the tax collectors are going to come. And when they come, I don't get mad. Don't get upset. I'm here to have an impact. And if that means sometimes somebody's going to say something rude and somebody's going to create a whole story and a whole lie, it's part of the process. I do my part in, responding when I need to, but it's not going to dissuade me from getting up and keeping active and doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
That is, as Simone said, that's like some amens right up in there.
Thank you, Simone.
Wow. Though I know even persons who may have seen there, and they're like, Krystal is so young, she not go through nothing what she need for fearful about, what she know about fear. And fear, do not fear is in the Bible like 365 times. So I think the Lord was real serious, when he said, do not fear. But what was just so powerful about what you described is that the fear that many of us have is actually coming out of the corner. Because if the light is on you, that we're worried about the impact tax, we're worried about this, we're fearing that, we're fearing. So we are more comfortable in the dark. I look at your picture and say, unfollow or watch Krystal while you are in the stadium, living your life, running your race, no business. And Krystal, I have to applaud you for that, because even your own challenges are such a powerful demonstration to us to kill that fear and show up. Show up, because you are here for purpose and impact, and girl, you show up. I mean, it feels good being in this space with you to see how you just show up. And the kill fear, tell me about the book. You just get up one day, you just start type, so tick, 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 tock, tock. May I write one book? Come.
No, and so here's how life kind of comes full circle. 2017, summer of 2017, I went to California to a conference. It was actually the Success Magazine annual conference that they have, Success Live. So it's the first time I was going, and I never go to a personal development conference before, but my mentee at the time recommended it. And I was like, okay, all right, we're learning together here. If this is something that's yours, let me just clear the schedule and we're gonna go. And while we were there, one of the speakers on stage, I think it was one of the moderators, said, if 3 months from now, you're doing the same thing you were doing before you came to this conference, you have not tried anything new, you have not invested in yourself in any new way, there's just nothing different, you have nothing different, you're doing nothing different, you would have wasted your days here and wasted the money that you invested in coming in. Do not waste it. Do not waste it. Make sure 3 months from now, there's something different, something you've taken action on from all that you've heard and seen. And my mentee and I, we looked at each other and we're like, we're going to do it. What are we going to do? 3 months. What we give myself to do in 3 months? And she says, I've been working on a book and I need to get it published. It's finished, it's written, and I didn't publish it. So I'm going to make sure it's published. And I was like, okay. I kind of still wasn't clear. What am I going to do? Because I just don't know. And of course, it's endless and it's bountiful and there's so much to be done. And then you don't make a decision. And she just openly said to me, Krystal, you could also write a book, right? I was like, what am I going to write a book about? Who am I going to write a book to? And I mean, in 3 months, that is just impossible. So let us pick something else. But she said it, and it planted a seed. And I opened my laptop, maybe the night after. And I said, well, let me just write out what is coming to me. Like, what would I want to share with the world? And I started writing, and I know that's not the thing I want to write the book on. And then as time went on, I realized people were engaging me on social media and asking, I don't know how you're so brave. I don't know where you get that courage there from, because if I didn't mean I couldn't do it, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And I said, well, how do I do it? Like, what is it that allows me to see something over here that wants me to be afraid of it, wants me to back down, wants me to cower, wants me to shut up, and I still show up and do my job? Like, what is that? It might not feel like something special to you, but clearly it's not a common thing. Mm-hmm. That's why I started to write about it. What were those moments in my life that taught me to stand up to bullies? And that started from in high school, right? When I was a bully, right? And what that meant. Because I was a bully and I understood what made me a bully, I could deal with bullies because it's really fear and inadequacy that caused people to want to rough up anybody else. They must feel threatened to want to attack you. Yes. So it helped me to understand the bullies on social media now, because I've been one of those, right? You don't want anybody to say something good about me because you need somebody to say something good about you. Well, let me say it to you. If nobody told you today, you're an amazing person, and nothing that you've said to me today robs you of your unique beauty, and I still love you and I want the best for you. Gonna block you because I don't think I'm good for your mental health, right? Gonna block you, but I want you to know I'm doing this with love because I want you to have a good time on the people on the internet. But I recognize very, 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 very clearly what it is in people that causes them to be nasty, to be dirty, to be angry, to be sad, and to just create conflict and upheaval wherever they go. And then I recognized what also causes me to not stop in the presence of people like those is that I'm not afraid of what you have to say about me, because I've already said the things about me that I want to believe. I'm not afraid of failing at something, because at every moment that I thought the failure would kill me, it didn't kill me. Which means that I'm lying to myself that failure is going to hurt as bad as I think it's going to hurt. And I'm also not afraid to start by myself and go the whole mile by myself. Because ultimately, all I will ever have is me. So if I get people to come with me, that's great. If people come and they say, boy, we can only go halfway with you, that's great. But ultimately, I'm willing to bet on myself. I'm willing to start before anybody else believes in me. And even if I must finish alone, I know why I'm here. I'm clear on my purpose. And that means you don't have to like me for me to start. You don't have to pat me on the back for me to go. I can initiate on my own, and I'll do it even if it looks and feels lonely. And so I just kind of wrote those out, and the examples in my life that taught me that, and the lessons that were hard to learn, and maybe I had to learn them 3 times to really get them. That's really what's in the book. You can go, baby. You can go. Watch out.
You know what, Krystal? You know what's even so beautiful as that is it's Zia.
Zia, yes.
And she comes, all the time when you hear your child come and they call your name, you're kind of like, did anybody else hear? And you just calmly go through. But you know what? Even in saying, yes, darling, you can go, you're so eloquent. You're so smooth and talk so good. Because I'm like, move. Let me tell you, Krystal, you are really
Or Rochelle, you just see the hand like get stiff, because it's the hand holding back the child, right? Like you're trying to be like this, but your hand is like this.
No, I've had a few of those, right? Where you see my hand just goes on.
and you're still here with us doing your thing. And I know that as people just even heard the journey of how you prepared the book, they are on their phone now, them dep on the thing, and they must say, where the book there? Where me find the book? Where the book there? Where me find the book? Oh, please.
Amazon. I do have some copies with me in Jamaica, but I really had to delegate that part to Mr. Jeff Bezos, because shipping the books is just not efficient from Jamaica.
And printing.
And
let's not forget the printing costs.
Right? It's just not efficient. So for now, Jeff Bezos handles that for me. I do have some physical copies that are at Gopher Global. So I did a bulk print, and through Gopher, persons are able to purchase as well. And I have a few copies with me, as I said, at home. So if I'm going to an event or I want to give someone as a gift, I know I have some on me that I can always use. But the best bet is Amazon. Global shipping, and no matter where you are in the world, Mr. Jeff find a way to get it.
Mr. Jeff, I like how you Mr. Jeff work. So the physical copy is available, and it's also available on Kindle from Mr. Jeff?
We don't have on Kindle, but we do have an audiobook version that's coming out this month. So it's been recorded.
With a nice
story. Mr. Jeff sent me back my audio files with more edits. I had to send it back to the audio engineer, and we're making another submission, but I think we got it this time to have it available by about August.
I can't imagine. I am looking forward to actually hearing you narrate, listening to your voice narrate. When I read Becoming first, I actually listened to it because Mish is my friend, so she wanted me to hear it.
Yes.
So to it first.
Those friends can be so demanding.
Yeah.
But there's something so personal about it. There several years ago I read this book, and it was called Me Talk Pretty One Day. And in it, the guy, he stuttered, and he said his dream was to speak eloquently. And as you were speaking a while ago, I thought if he heard you, you would be who he would want to sound like. So as a public speaking coach, just as a handover to Catherine, when everybody has their own voice and way of delivering. Everybody's not going to sound like you, but everybody doesn't need to sound like you. How do you get across to people to find their voice, to find their sweet voice?
So comparison is usually what people use to know if they have a good or a bad voice. When you hear them say, boy, I wish I had a radio voice or a TV voice, then you know where they got the idea of what a voice should sound like. All along, they're in the house with their mother. They've never thought mommy had a bad voice. They're hearing daddy talk, sister talk, uncle talk, pastor, everybody around them talking. I have a good voice, but when it comes to my own have to sound like Doreen Samuels, may her soul rest in peace. My voice have to sound like Alan Magnus, have to sound like Francois Saint-Just, have to sound like Paul and Porter, have to sound like Simone Clark Cooper. Right. My voice somehow is inadequate and must model somebody else's. So one of the first things we guide or students in is an assessment of who they think is a good speaker, and then playing one of those speeches for them to realize all the imperfections that a particular speaker has. Barack Obama is one of the most chosen as an ideal speaker. But I want to talk like Barack. When you listen to Barack, it's a lot of
You just answer any question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you thinking that a perfect speaker mustn't have any arms and their voice must have this, this strong baritone. There are times when you do not hear that in your favorite speaker's presentation. So let us get real about it. And when they can see the imperfection in the people they already love, it dials down the expectation they have to be perfect and not make any errors and just sound like somebody packaged you and then press play on your voice box. The other way that we help them to become comfortable with their voice is to change the lens. So as a public speaker, I guide my students to not think of it as a peacock moment. It's not about you going on stage. Yes, dear?
I just take it for my birthday.
For your birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to put it in your toy box?
Huh?
Yeah, put it in your toy box so I don't step on it and get hurt. All right?
So I just need to hold it and then go.
Sure. But I'm in a meeting, okay? So we have to be quiet. All right.
Krystal, I'm here learning, girl. Like,
I just lost the train of thought. Like,
I've learned some new things. Like, I'm in a meeting thing, so I've learned to add it to my vocabulary. I've moved from move to.
I can't wait.
I
Can't wait to see you try that with Krystal.
I would like to witness you try that with Krystal.
Krystal is gonna be like, first of all, you're in my office.
Yes.
I'm boss here. This is where you talking to.
I'm allowing you to touch in my yard. You have
So,
no say.
You will aspire to be like Krystal, but maybe
so
not.
my voice is. Move.
Well, I have to be completely honest with you, right? I have tried, that thing where you must give them a face and they must know that this is the danger zone. When I do that, she just looks at me like what's he saying? Are you trying to say something?
Something wrong with your face?
Yes,
You okay? You okay, mommy?
Why your face twist?
Like she literally does that. My mom has said to me, Krystal, if you don't master the face, you're gonna be in trouble, because you must be able to just like fling a look and get things done. I'm like, I'm working on it. But she's just not interpreting the messages.
My face is still 16 years in progress. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't work. So I'm not really sure.
Krystal, you were telling us that it's not a peacock moment.
Right. So people think of public speaking as, I'm gonna go on that stage and I'm gonna just show them all that I know and they're gonna just love me and I'm just amazing. The greatest public speakers are not thinking about how do I look fancy and amazing and come off as the boss when I hit the stage. It is, what do I have that's valuable that I can teach or share with this group of persons? And what's the best way to share it with them? If I'm sharing with teenagers and I really wanted to get this, I really wanted to grasp it, what are the elements of the presentation that I have to change versus when I'm doing something for CEOs or with teachers or on the road, marketing something at a bus stop? How do I get this message across so that this information can serve them? You see, when you start to think about serving people when you talk, you don't waste the words. You can learn to be quiet and not feel stupid, right? Because I have nothing of value to share. And I'm okay with that because when I open my mouth, I want to add value. So if I don't have anything to say as a good public speaker, I'm okay. I can say no comment. I can say, let's hear what everybody else has to say. Give me some time to think, because I'm thinking about value, not impressing the people every time I open my mouth, but imparting something valuable. The minute we change the lens, we get so comfortable because I can't share with you what I don't have. So if you ask me to come and share on marketing principles or sales strategies or give a motivational talk, you asking me is evidence that I have something. So let me accept that I have something that you want. What is the best way to deliver that thing? Do I open with a song? Do I infuse some Jamaican proverbs? Am I going to use some popular quotes and references? What does this audience need? Do they need data? Should I have graphs? What is best for this listener so they can get what I'm saying and receive the message? When we move from that perspective of service instead of showing off, of purposeful delivery instead of that peacock moment, the fear dials down and the worry about whether my voice sounds squeaky or not, which is also impacted by the stress and you're not breathing and it closes the airways and it does affect the quality of your voice and you're breathing heavy and talking through your nose. All of those things are affecting voice quality and pace and your ability to remember what you have to say. So you sound better when you stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about serving your audience. And then, of course, having a system in place to organize the thoughts and to deliver and to make sure the key elements of argumentation are part of it, form part of the course. But once we get that mental shift, public speaking is not about being the peacock. It's about purposefully delivering something to an audience and choosing the best way to get that message across to them. Then you can stop worrying about the perfect voice, because the one you have is enough. And the one you have can be improved, but only from a perspective of it is good enough. And here is how I will make it better. It can't be, me not have a voice, me not have nothing to say. Otherwise, you can never start. You can never start if you are at the place of, I have no voice. Nobody cares what I have to say. Nothing I share is of value. I always sound stupid. Once you're still there, you can't start.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Krystal, what did you do at school? What did you do in university?
What? Oh, at UWI, I did my first degree in international relations and political science. It was a double minor, political science and African diaspora studies. And then, and I'm putting this out in the universe, every emerger, please hold me accountable. The dynamic trio, hold me accountable. I started my master's program 10 years ago. No, don't clap me yet. Don't clap me yet.
You start though.
I started it 10 years ago, right? I'm surprised that by God's grace, the university is allowing me to finish it in this coming semester. But I feel like this is my last shot. Like if I don't finish it now, I think the coordinator is going to say, Krystal, I think you need to pack your bags and go. Right? So I'm finishing it this year, 2022, and it's not going past this year. So everybody just know that this is the announcement I'm making at the end of 2022 that I have finished my master's, and the master's would be in integrated urban and rural environment management. So it's actually a science-based master's.
That's excellent.
And I mean, it's urgent now, right? There's a lot of climate focus.
Certainly.
We have a lot of climate justice champions, climate funding available. Mia named as one of those climate champions globally.
Yeah.
So it's like a moment to maximize the knowledge I have in this space, because I also have a passion for the environment.
Yes.
And I haven't spent much time serving that particular field of interest. And the gateway to that is completing this one course, One.
You can do it, girl. You will do it.
No, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Hello, in the comments, we need to get some support going for Krystal and master's program. Let's go.
So, Krystal, we've talked about so many different hats, right? Moving from the foundation to, being an entrepreneur, TV, everything, being a mommy, starting a course, becoming an author. You mentioned it earlier. And so now I'm going to ask you, why politics?
Oh, so this is part of that environmental passion, right? I've always wanted to take action that can really change things at the macro level, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure the things that we struggle with at the micro level, one change in legislation over time, it's not immediate, solves the problem. So I'm also a feminist, so big up all the feminists in the room and in the chat, right? So from my experience of how women came to have autonomy over themselves, it's just a change in law, followed by another change in law, followed by another change in law. And then people have to get in line with the law. The employer has to get in line, or we're taking it to court, right? The parents have to get in line, or we're going to be able to take it to court. The teachers have to get in line, or we're going to take it to court. And that consequence makes it urgent to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So from ensuring that women have the right to go to work, like to earn. Change the law, you have to hire the woman now. Okay, we hire her, but we're pay her less. Well, we're going to change that law too. So now we have to give her equal pay for equal work. Oh, but she's going to have a baby, so let's tell her that she can only get contract work, or when she's gone off on leave, we tell her she's gone too long and we fire her. No. We're going to give her maternity leave with pay. Those are laws that have been used now to change how we think about other human beings and how we treat them. And so I've always believed that if we want to see a better country, a part of that change, not exclusively, but a big part of it, has to be the ability to change the laws. And that's where I want to be. And so my earliest foray in politics actually started when I was on campus at UWI. So I was on the Guild of Students there, and then from there got exposed to the capacity to mobilize and to organize people around an idea, and then to move until you actually get the change, and just not to give up, not to relent until you get the change. And then I wanted to bring that same energy into our national political space. Of course, it would mean more women in politics. I believe there needs to be more women in politics, and also to give young people an example of doing it while young. You know, I have nothing against somebody completing their career and then choosing to engage in politics.
Yeah.
I don't have an age view on who is right for politics. As long as you have the energy and a genuine commitment to serve people, I think there's a place for you in the politics. And young people have that energy, and we have the ideas. And I think we just need more examples, so you cannot feel like it's a old man's game.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even say old woman, because it really looks now like an old man's game. You don't want it to feel that way for young people. Otherwise, and this is what's happening, they leave and bring that capacity to other countries.
Yeah.
They leave and bring it to other countries. And we need it here. We
Yeah.
need more than just the remittance money. We actually need the brain capacity and the service, especially in the legislature to make real change.
Yeah. You know, Rochelle talked about you, your life being so public. And so a lot of the things that you've been through in all areas of your life have been so public. What do you think are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned along the political journey?
Patience, right?
Mom, I did like this one.
Oh, we don't have that. I'll see if I can get one for you at the store, but we don't have that now. Okay. You want to like a little
Speaking of patience.
Right? I have to be honest with myself. I'm not gonna go and look for a fudge stick crate at Fontana. Okay? I'm not gonna do that. At least not this week.
Boy.
So where was I?
Some of the greatest lessons you think you've learned along the political journey. You said patience is the first one.
Patience, right? Because that's a consequence of being, of politicking while young.
Mhm.
There's a level of urgency, and we have to do it now because we waited so long, and it has to be now. And the political machinery that we have certainly does not work that way. I don't know if in other countries, it's quicker to change, but it's a slow wheel that's turning in Jamaica. Very, very slow wheel. So I've learned patience to learn the politics, but also patience with myself to improve my practice of it. So for now, I've put it down to the active politicking. You won't see me engaged in that anymore. But it's also to make sure that I'm learning and understanding with a more critical mind, taught by the process now. So it's not somebody telling me how it works. I've seen how it works. So nobody can mislead me about how it works anymore.
Yeah.
And then to make some more calculated decisions about how I would like to engage. So, who knows, maybe 10 years from now, I'm running again. Or maybe I'm just like that big funder who just makes sure that every young woman who I see have potential, have money to back her campaign, right?
Yes.
Be that. Like every young woman who say, yo, I want to run, but I don't have no money. Say, oh, but Krystal has a fund that helps young women enter politics. So I'm just thinking how I want to serve in that structure moving forward, but definitely not done with it. Not sure what
love that.
Definitely not.
So yeah.
Yeah. I love how in everything that you've been doing, the focus is on service. And I think it's important that everybody understands, and somebody had made a comment on it earlier. Knowing who you are and understanding what your why is so important to be able to move to the next step and to keep bouncing forward, as Rochelle said. So tell us a little bit about Success Farm Life. Who is it for and what does it offer?
Oh, thank you for the opportunity to share about the Success Farm. So the Success Farm is a space for leadership and personal development. I'm a self-management strategist, which means I help people to manage themselves. There is nothing that you'll be able to do in life if you don't have the capacity to manage yourself. And so we've built courses around self-management, managing your voice through our public speaking training course, managing your time and your productive energy through our Success Farmers Guide, which we launched in 2022. I can't believe I finally launched the planner. We've been working on that for like four years.
Nice.
About 4 years we've been working on that one. Right. Also being able to manage your professional capacity and goals. So we do have success farmers who are looking to kind of shift gears, either in their career, they're going through a very difficult transition, some major life shift or change has happened, and they just not found the mental, emotional capacity to get up and go again. So it's helping them to manage that, the energy, the feelings, the thought, the self-beliefs, to find the courage that they will need now to return to the productive self, to the self that is still able to create and tap into what we call the God energy and make something, no matter what it feels like when you're going through it. There's an energy in there that can create something for you. So those are the key areas that we focus on. So that involves the one-on-one coaching. That's where I do one-on-one VIP coaching for persons who are going through that particular shift, feel like they're going through it alone, whether it's a change in the relationships that they have, whether through death or divorce, or just managing traumatic relationships in general, and being able to bounce forward from those
forward. It better go change your language, knowing your stuff.
So how do people register? Where do they find it?
So we are online. Our website is www.thesuccessfarm.com. So be sure to put the in front of it, thesuccessfarm.com. You can also follow the business page on Instagram and on Facebook at My Success Farm. And of course, if there are any questions at all, especially related to our VIP coaching program or product, you can send us an email directly at thesuccessfarmja@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. So we have a segment called Best Advice that we do. And I'm going to ask Nai to kick us off, where we're asking you what's the best advice that you've either received or that you would like to share on a particular topic.
Okay.
So you know we have to start this segment with what's the best advice that you would give or you have received about killing fear? Yes, ma'am.
The best advice about killing fear. So it's the best advice I have received, and this one is through reading that I'll also share with you here. And I got this one like after I wrote the book. I was like, maybe I should do a version 2, right? To kill fear is really to kill the illusion that you have of yourself. To kill fear is to kill the illusion that you have of yourself. So if you say you have a fear of failure, what you really have is an illusion that you are perfect. That's what it is. You have an illusion that you're perfect. That's why failure scares you.
Wow.
If you accept that you're not perfect, failure cannot scare you. But if you have an illusion that you are, then of course you have to protect that illusion of I always win, I don't lose. I eat challenges for dinner. Nothing bothers me. I'm never hurt. If that's the illusion you have, you're going to do everything to protect it, which means saying no to anything that challenges that illusion. And you call it a fear of failure. But it's your illusion that you're trying to protect. When you say, I'm afraid of what people say about me, it's an illusion. What is the illusion you have about yourself that somebody's comment is going to challenge? So for me, and I'll give you a very real example. People have asked me, what do you feel about people calling you a baby mother? You don't feel that way when them just say you're a baby mother. I'm like, hold on. There was no illusion I had of myself that required me to be a wife to be valuable. Like if I had that, then somebody saying that would really, really hurt me, because I think, being a wife is like, the thing, and it's the ultimate goal, and I just missed the ultimate goal. And then now when you call me that, it hurts because it tackles the illusion and it reveals that I didn't achieve that illusion or that thing that I thought would make me worthy. But I've never had that. And because I've never had that, you can't challenge my sense of self by telling me I don't have something that I did not say that I wanted.
I love that.
But anybody who kind of has to tackle that thing about criticism, like, what if them say I'm ugly? What if them say, I'm not intelligent? What if them say? First of all, what did you say about yourself? Because if you have this illusion about who you are and the need for people to think you're intelligent so that you are worthy of being in the room, then you're going to do everything to protect the illusion. So anytime you feel fear, just kind of ask yourself, what about this illusion of myself is the fear telling me or challenging right now?
That's so
And that's always what it is. Just this perception that you want people to have of you. That's why you're getting afraid. Because you're going to do something that's going to challenge your perception. It's going to feel like death. It's really going to feel like death because it's the ego that it attacks. Once you're good, like if I get a house on the hill, I'm good. But if I have to live in a tent, I'm still good. I'm still good. Like I'm taking deep breaths in and it's going through my body, and I can drink some water to refresh myself, and I can eat some fruits. Stassi, I'm saying that for you, okay? I didn't say bread and peanut butter. We can have some fruits and I feel nourished. I can close my eyes and be rested and wake up with life in the morning. Like I'm good. And so I can take a decision because I have everything I need to make the changes I want to see. So you teasing me about, well, you don't live nowhere. That's okay. I live in myself, and it's a comfortable place for me. And as long as I'm here, I can take an action. You know, I can buy 1 block, and then tomorrow I buy 2 blocks, and then eventually I can buy a 3.576 acre land, and then eventually I can build my house. Like I don't have it now, don't mean me and nothing. Because the house now make me something. I am something because I am.
Yes.
So that's the biggest learning I've had about fear. And like every time I feel challenged by something, I just remember, oh, hold on. Did I have an illusion here? You know, that this moment is a challenge and I don't want it to challenge and break and shatter the glass house. And just go back to myself because there's power in me. No matter what happens, I have power in me.
Mm-hmm. What is the best advice you have given or received about shaping? Okay. All right. Let me go to best advice about confidence or being confident and speaking with confidence.
Oh, the best advice is around that peacock reference. I don't know who asked it or if they heard that analogy. But the minute you stop thinking about speaking and speaking great and excellent as a you thing, and you start to think of it as something that serves your listener, it can change how you feel confident, right? And I know we've seen people on television, them on news, they're on Rising Stars, they're on, the kings and queens of dance hall. They don't have perfect enunciation. They don't have perfect subject verb agreement, but that never stopped them from confident. That never stopped them from company people them show and say, me look good, I smell good, me have good that, me have it up there. Like,
that's my favorite one.
Right?
And you know Rochelle loves it too.
So you're giving yourself preconditions. You know, I have to do this before I can be confident. I have to sound this way before I can be confident. Just look around you at people who have the confidence without that. And it's just a choice they're making. That not having this will not stop me from showing up. Yeah. Like I'm okay being me and learning the subject verb agreement if I want to learn. But if I can get by without learning it, I'm okay. You know? I'm going to share my ideas same way. I'm going to raise my hand in the meeting and I'm going to say what I have to say. Yeah. And I'm going to do it the best way I can in a way that I hope you will understand me. But I've given it my best.
Yes. So the last one is going to be about owning your life. What is the best advice you would give or receive about owning your life?
Think about your life like looking for a CEO that everybody knows. Like Adam Stewart. Like Adam Stewart managing Sandals International. That's you. CEO. You're making every executive decision. You have an important and critical role. You can't afford to make the mistake because it's going to cost you. Cost you time, cost you energy, cost you money, cost you people, cost you opportunities. Show up. Like when you wake up every morning, just imagine how Adam Stewart is walking into his office. Like, is he walking in there like wimpy and going, oh my God, I don't know. Why did I get this job? It's so hard. I don't think he's doing that. Whenever I see him, he looks like that pretty confident CEO. I don't think his dad, Butch Stewart, was doing that either. I don't think Michael Lee Chin is doing that. They're bossing up and stepping into spaces to manage what is theirs. Mm-hmm. But really, none of us own anything except ourselves and our time. So if they can manage other people, other people's resources, other people's time, like it is theirs, you actually have your own time. Like that is yours. You have your thoughts in your brain. Those things are yours. You have your energy every day. That's yours. What you put in your mouth, that is your decision. You have so much power over your life. But if you keep thinking that life is happening to you, you can act like a chief executive officer, make decisions and make them clearly and hold your boundaries and decide what you're going to do if life is happening to you. So you have to change your mind about what life is. You just have to see yourself as boss, not boss in terms of making money, but a chief executive officer. It all comes down to me. I'm the CFO and I manage my money like the Bursa manage money. I'm in high school. I manage my money Like the person at my office, that I have to keep every receipt. I have to write up every petty cash voucher. I have to carry back every gas something. Like, why are they operating like that? Like I feed them money.
Yeah.
That's how you need to be treating your own, the one that you actually have. Manage your time the same way. Manage the people like how the HR manager manages the people in your business. So you have to just change the way you're viewing your life. Put on a CEO hat, put on a CFO hat, put on the chief ancillary manager hat, because every mess we're making in your life, it is your task and your responsibility to get moving. But if you keep thinking that stuff is happening, you can't find the energy to move, and you're always the victim, and somebody's always wrong, and somebody's to come and fix. Change that perspective and take ownership of your life that way.
Well,
You know,
this reminds me of our first conference.
Becoming the CEO of your life.
Yes.
From it.
Alignment.
Yes.
But what I thought about as well, I actually made a post in another group I'm in this morning, because I felt it's been one of those weeks and I just didn't feel 100. But you're the CEO of a business as well, right? So I have to show up. And what I have to do is things like, I took a picture in my pink heels. I'm working from home and I'm at my desk. And this morning I got up, I had on pink heels at my desk, lipstick, makeup, everything, because it makes me feel like I am gonna have a productive day.
Absolutely.
So even though I was sitting at my desk and nobody's seeing or feeling these pink heels but me, made me feel like I was doing something.
Absolutely.
So I have to do that sometimes to kind of like shift my own mindset and perspective. Like, yeah, you're the CEO, you need to show up even at your own desk in your yard.
And we cannot let Krystal leave until Rushy asks her question.
Oh yes.
Whoa!
Rushy has the final question.
You know, Krystal, there's this song. I don't know if you know it. You know that song, "Looking Back Over the Years."
Showing your age, Rochelle.
Oh my God!
It could also be the melody.
Who sing it?
You know, I don't know who sings that. I don't understand. But when you look back over the years from where you're coming to where you are now, when you look at that journey, what award would you give to Krystal?
I would give myself what I call the Anti-Fragility Award.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd give myself that award. And if there's any viewer that doesn't know what that concept is, it's about organisms that become better in chaos.
Yeah.
So the chaos can break some organisms and kill them and they go extinct. The chaos can find others just kind of holding strain, like survival mode, like I'm not gonna die, I'm not gonna change either, but I'm just not gonna die. And then there are other organisms that use that chaotic situation to become better, to transform, to build some strength, to just take them little organisms themselves to a higher level. And I think I've been able to do that. That's such an emotional question. That's such a, because now I'm thinking about those things that were supposed to break me, and I was looking at it like, it's not gonna work, right? I'm gonna actually eat you and power up. I'm gonna eat you and power up like Pac-Man. Like you are? No. No. And it really has just been, I think it has been a defining part of how I experience the lows in my life or the valley. Like I insist that there is something good in this moment for me.
Yeah.
And if it don't introduce itself to me at the beginning, I'm going to knock and dig and scrape and find until I see the value of it. Because not a moment and not an experience in my life is going to be wasted. So that's it. The ability to look at, or maybe what looks like chaos to others just doesn't look like chaos to me, just look like opportunity.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So cool. Wow.
Oh, this is wonderful.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Krystal, where can people find you?
I'm on the line at Krystal Tomlinson on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm also on Twitter at Krys Tomlinson. So it's KRY. Oh, I see it on screen. That's right. Krystal Tomlinson on Instagram and Facebook, which is where I do most of my business. You know, most of my community building effort really happens on Instagram and secondarily on Facebook.
Rochelle, you don't see people trying to help you out in the comments.
With the song. Yeah. And it was a melody. It's a melody.
Oh, the song is called TKO?
Yes.
Oh, I know that chorus. I know
You
that
know the chorus, but you need the
I want
beginning of the song.
When I sing it, You know when I sing it?
No, I don't know that
The
part.
melody, the melody is what the teacher of little bit.
Me alright.
Like, you depend on a DJ to teach you, right? And the DJs tend to start in the middle, play a little piece, and then move on. So there's a whole generation of people who will never know the Sizzler song, Dry Cry, because the DJs only play the
It's
first
true.
intro, the first one, and then move on.
That's easy.
Well, Rushy, everybody else got it in the chat, regardless of the melody. Krystal, thank you.
Thank you for having me, ladies. I feel so. You guys need to have these interviews in the morning, right? Because now I have all this energy, and I don't know what I'm going to do myself because I feel like I just wake up, right?
Well, save it because we have to
Thank
bring
you.
it back to the live stage. So save it for the live stage.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun, and this
Thank
was
you
a
for
learning
saying
experience
yes.
for me too. Like the questions that you guys asked me helped me to answer some questions for myself. So thank you, Rochelle.
Hey.
We
Thank
love
you.
that.
Yeah,
We're
and-
so happy that you said yes. We're grateful. You definitely. We had high expectations, and I would think I can safely say you've exceeded the expectations that we had.
Yes. And just
So we are
Krystal,
so grateful.
proceeding, know that with all of the various endeavors that you have now and all of the amazing things to come and graduating with your masters, we are just praying God's favor and
Yes.
grace over every area of your life, that He will continue to cover you from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, and He will continue to guide you and provide wisdom as you raise your amazing daughter. But most of all, that you will continue to believe in Him, that it is all to His glory and to His favor. Krystal, the world is yours, and we are here cheering you on.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Emerge 3-0.
Yay.
Thank you. Oh, I'm seeing some of my friends in the chat. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Sassy.
Teresa says that she's so proud of you. You're always adding value to any space or stage that you step into, and you truly serve with your voice. She's very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Krystal.
Thank you so much. You can go back to Zia now.
Right.
I know I was surviving on her using the headphones to watch a tablet, but I think she needs everybody to hear what she's listening to. So just pop it out. But it was perfectly timed. I have to give thanks to God. God has my back. And this is evidence that He has my back.
That is
Absolutely.
hilarious. Thank you,
Thank
Krystal.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock. Don't forget to follow us on all of our platforms at Ready to Emerge. We look forward to seeing you on September 18th at the AC Hotel. For those of you that are not in Jamaica, if you don't want to fly in, we will be broadcasting online as well. So stay tuned for more information. So thank you. Have a blessed rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week or having you again with join us next week.
You look good, you stay good, you talk nice.